Welcome everyone to Tuesday Tea Time on Wednesday this week. I am in Tiburon, California because I just finished up a clinic in Winters, California this week, and I am headed to Portugal this afternoon. So I thought I would sneak in a little bit of a tea time between my California clinic and my Portugal clinic and just check in with everybody. I don't know how many people will meet me in real time and how many will see this after the fact, but I had some thoughts that I thought I would share with everyone. So I was thinking a little bit about consistency because I've missed the last 2 weeks of tea times. Deeply apologize, everyone. But consistency isn't my strong suit. I really have to work on being consistent. And I appreciate the value of consistency. So I've been thinking a little bit about what is it about consistency that is good, that is important for us, particularly as horse trainers, and what are the factors that go into that? What are the ingredients that go into that recipe? So I am thinking a little bit about this from my own personal perspective, but also because, horses will thrive on consistency, I find. They really appreciate consistency. And this will come up a little bit in conversations with students. What's the value of variety versus consistency? Why would we change things up versus be very, very regular? And I find this interesting because I really do think that there's positives to both ways of doing it. So if we are more consistent, we gather better information to improve the situation. So let's just use my tea times as an example. If I meet with you every week, at the same time, same place, people know where to expect me. People will show up. I'll have more people to talk to, and that's all good. I also find that my brain will develop a habit around what am I going to talk about? What do I have to share? What could I offer to everybody? And that habit is incredibly powerful. So I really believe we end up with a limited amount of energy in each day to spend. There's only so much time, and where are we going to put it? Where are we going to be? Who are we going to talk to? Where are we going to put that energy? When we have habits and patterns, we don't have to expend so much energy deciding what we're going to do. And this is going to happen for our horses too. So when we are working with horses, when they have habits or patterns that they can just do without thinking, leading to consistency, that is going to free up energy for other things. And that's going to be really, really valuable. However, on the other side of the spectrum, we have variety. And variety means there will be decisions to make. If we do things differently, how are we going to do them differently? What do we want to do that's different? How do we plan the decision? Should I do it one way or another way? And that decision is going to take energy. But when we do something that takes energy, we get stronger. So we practice decision making to become better and stronger decision makers. So when we have variety with our horses, we end up really leaning into helping them make decisions, helping them strengthen their decision-making system, help them become stronger, better versions of themselves. When we lean into consistency, we really lean into having them conserve energy, save energy for other things that are more important, not waste energy deciding what they're going to do that might be different from yesterday, that might be different from before. Now, we end up with patterns and pressure around our habits. So when I make a habit that I don't have to think about as much, I save energy, and that's a really good thing. I'm not terribly good at that. I'm a little better at variety. I like to expend energy. I like to get stronger. I like to become a better version of myself. There's some downsides to that. And the downsides to picking up a pattern where you are constantly making new decisions is you develop a system that is tired Okay, and there's a saying that if you don't choose to rest, rest will choose you. And I ran into that a little bit in the last 2 weeks, hence why you guys haven't seen me on Tea Time for a couple of weeks. I was choosing all sorts of things that were not rest. And I was getting ready to leave on my trip, and I was getting organized for other things. And I was a huge amount of variety in my life where I was busy catching up on all sorts of decisions that I might not naturally make, that I really have to think about. Should I do it this way or should I do it that way? What that leads to is exhaustion. When you get into that place where you're really tired, you either choose to rest or eventually you get sick and then rest chooses you. And you don't have an option. So we want to think about this with our horses too. So variety and asking them to make decisions and asking them to really think and use their decision-making system will make them stronger until it makes them tired. And then hopefully we all make the good decision to rest when we're tired, instead of working too hard, pushing too hard to a place where you get injury or illness. And then if you don't choose rest, rest will choose you. So this is going to be true of our horses too. This week I taught a really fun clinic in Winters, California. And it was really fun on the last day. We had a little mare that used her nervous system beautifully. She did a lot of feeling and a lot of thinking. You could see her ears being mobile. You could see her using her feeling senses. She was very engaged. She was a very good student in the clinic. And what happens with horses like that, these overachievers, they really practice using their decision-making system, and they really practice using their nervous system. Do I want to listen to that? Do I want to feel this? Do I want to feel this? Do I want to see that? Do I want to see that? Do I want to smell that? And they use a lot of decisions in each focus change. This is great because it makes them stronger. You get stronger through exercise and rest. But it also tires the system. Now, here's the thing is when horses get tired, they're either going to take a nap or they're going to throw a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old. And this is a thing that we really need to remember is when our horses are misbehaving, most of the time it's because they got tired. We have systems that can only do so much. And when we get tired, we are either going to rest or we're going to start making poor decisions because we don't have enough energy for good decisions. This is when your habits are going to be really, really helpful. So if you have a habit of always doing the same thing, you don't have to decide anymore. You just do the habit. And this is a valuable thing when your brain is tired and you might not make good decisions. This is going to be the same thing with the horses. So in this clinic in California, I watched this little mare make beautiful decisions. She was a real overachiever. She stepped up to the plate. When I said exercise your nervous system, she said, how high do you want me to jump? I will exercise my nervous system to the full extent. And I expressed to her owner that the thing we had to watch out for was she wasn't very good at rest. She was really good at doing everything asked of her. She wasn't really good at stepping back and taking a rest. So we really focused on that through the clinic. How could we encourage her to build a habit of resting after exercise? It's not her natural inclination, but we tried to really build that into her program. How could we encourage her to rest, not just exercise? And then on the last day of the clinic, there was a little moment where she just lay down in the arena and she said, I'm out. I got to rest. My brain is tired. And it was probably the most ideal way we could have ended the clinic for that horse. Having them lie down and rest is not the ultimate goal of the work I do, but it is always a part of the work I do because exercise cannot exist separate from the rest after the exercise. We need both parts to build a stronger system. So we're building stronger systems for horses by helping them use either their nervous system or their motor system or both. And then after they exercise, they really need to rest so that they can have enough energy to do it again. What's that saying? You teach those things that you need to learn. So I laugh at myself, Austin. I am teaching horses how to do a thing I'm not very good at as a human. So I'm a bit of an overachiever, like that little mare. I like to do the exercise part, not always so good at doing the resting part. And that is a thing that I need to work on. If I'm not good at working on it, then I'm going to see if I can help others with it. And maybe it will percolate into my brain as a thing that I can do too. When we get tired, so when we've been exercising too much, when we get tired, we're going to feel an increasing amount of pressure. So that pressure, a lot of people talk about as stress. As the stress goes up, stress is really, really healthy because that's what makes you stronger. Stress is what stimulates your body, whether it's your motor system or your nervous system, to adapt and build and become stronger when you rest. That's the thing, is that you have to rest often enough that the stress is useful, not detrimental. And so we want to develop patterns with our horses where we put pressure on them, or we let them get tired so they feel their own pressure that helps them get stronger. Then hopefully they're going to go ahead and have a habit of resting before they get too exhausted to make the best use of all the learning and information we've given them. How do we do that? We want to remember you can only want something more that you don't have quite enough of. And what that basically means is you have to end things while you're still enjoying them. So if you want a horse to rest more, there's going to be a point where they're really enjoying that rest. And then there's going to be a point where they don't really want to rest anymore. They're bored, they're irritated, and they want to go do something else. So the key is to bring them out of their rest while they're still enjoying it so that they look forward to going back to it. This is how we build motivation. And when we build motivation, we do things in repetitions. The more consistently we can do a repetition, the more it becomes a habit. And the more it becomes a habit, the less we have to put brain power into it that is exhausting. We can save that energy and that brain power for stuff that's really important. Variety, stuff that we have to make decisions about. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. I'm really glad a few of you could join me for tea time. I'm going to make an effort to be a little bit more consistent in the coming weeks. I'll be in Portugal next week, and then I'll be home for a couple of weeks, and then I will be headed to Europe for a bunch of clinics there through May and June, and then I'll be back to California for the Sacramento Horse Expo, and I would love to see you guys. If you want a list of my clinics, they are on my website, tamingwild.com. I will also be starting another online course that will be happening beginning in July. So if you'd like to be part of that, I think it's one of the best ways to learn. I'm in the middle of one right now, and it's been really good to take a deeper look at habits and patterns and pressure and all that with my current students. So hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me for tea time, and I will see you next week on Tuesday. I'm going to make an effort to see if we can actually do Tuesday tea time on Tuesdays for a while, see if we can get a little bit more consistency, build my habit back in so that I can save my energy for other things where I really want to build more strength. Have a wonderful day, you guys.